My name is Ritesh Barot. I'm here today with Dr. Margaretta Gacheru to talk about Kenya Arts Diary 2023. I'd like to introduce our wonderful Dr. Margaretta Gacheru, who, of course, everyone in the arts field really reveres. Dr. Margaretta Gacheru Nee Swigert is initially from Evanston, Illinois, which also happens to be the home base of Rotary International. She comes from a family of scholars and scientists, so it is no surprise that she too is academically minded. She claims she has an affinity for education, which goes some distance to explain why she has several academic degrees: 4 masters, 2 bachelors, and PhDs. They come from both the US and Kenya, where she got a bachelor's and master's from the University of Nairobi in literature. Her first degree was bachelor's in sociology and comparative religions,
Oh
and
my gosh.
master's in education, journalism, literature, and sociology. The doctorate is in sociology with a focus on culture, media, and arts. Dr.
Wow.
Margaretta came to Kenya on a Rotary Foundation Ambassadorial Fellowship in the 1970s and lived in Kenya most of the time since then, apart from one hiatus of a decade when she was assisting her mother in the United States. She has been working in Kenya in the media since 1970s and has written mainly about the arts, both visual and performing, as well as other features in the variety of newspapers. They include the Nairobi Times, Kenya Times, Standard, Viva, Trend, The Star,
Wow.
Business Daily, Nation Media Group, and writes about arts and culture even today. She has also worked with UNESCO in the Nairobi office, has taught journalism at Kenya Methodist University and sociology at Loyola University Chicago, has worked for Women's World Banking at their Africa Regional Office as editor-in-chief and founder of
Gosh.
WWBA News, a quarterly magazine, has been awarded Best Arts Writer reported by both Balambesi and Sana Awards. Her most valuable award comes first from Rotary International when she received Foundation Ambassadorial Fellowship, but more recently when President of the Republic of Kenya has honored Dr. Margaretta Gacheru as a Shujaa. Welcome, Dr. Margaretta.
My goodness. You are encyclopedic. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. You've given away my secrets.
Well, I'm sure there's so much more. We have so much more to learn about the books you have published and so much more. But today, we are here to speak about the Kenya Arts Diary.
Wonderful.
The Kenya Arts Diary, which was first published in 2011, which is known to be a catalog complete with descriptors of photography, installations, oils, acrylics, patchwork quilts, wood, cement, scrap metal, sculptures, stitched found objects.
Oh, wow.
Of course, also carries artists' bios and is more or less a directory also, providing artist contacts and announcing range of collectives and studios of contemporary art. This is a diary which individuals literally wait for annually. And
Oh my gosh.
you've been integral to the publication since very many years now. So Dr. Margaretta, tell us about the genesis of the Kenya Arts Diary.
My goodness. This is wonderful. You have said such marvelous things about the diary. I mean, you have been all encompassing and done your homework, I must say, Ritesh. And I'm very honored to be talking to you today. I value you as a dear friend, but also I recognize you as a scholar who, like me, has ventured into the lay people's world of ordinary everyday life to contribute. And I think your writing in the media is so valuable and really well informed. It's in an area that is antithetical in some way, but not really, in business and finance and economics. But then you focus on the arts. which is how we met. And I must say, the first time we put you in the diary, I had never met you. I think it was a painting of Mount Kenya, and it almost didn't go in. The second time, you have progressed tremendously. And right now, I'm so thrilled that you had one work of art. Actually, you had two works of art in our recent Rotary International exhibition at the Serena Hotel. And really beautiful work, one of which is in the diary, the Kenya Arts Diary, the current one, 2023, which I'm thrilled about. I'm really thrilled because, as you say, well, you didn't say, but after 10 years in 2020, the diary effectively died. It was over because we were bankrupt, essentially. We didn't have means of payment. And neither Nani Crows nor I are very good at marketing, fundraising, asking people for money. It's not easy. I wasn't raised to ask people for money. I mean, I'm not a beggar. I mean, you do it yourself or else. Anyway, I don't know where to begin, at the beginning or the most recent, because what happened is that this gentleman came along and said, and this was an Englishman who was concerned because he had been expecting to get a diary for Christmas, and he didn't get one last year, and he didn't get one the previous year, because the last one we produced was in 2020. So he decided to help reconstruct the diary. And he spoke to me, and I had just separately been in conversation with another young artist called Nikita Fazl, who happens to be a friend of yours. And we were both sort of wishing wistfully that the diary could come into being again. And I knew her as an artist. So we connected with Tim, and suddenly it happened. Turns out the two of them have the exact skills that neither Nani nor I have. They are efficient. They assemble ideas technologically. I mean, there's the digital and the analog. He's really good at the digital. She's an incredible graphic artist and a marketer. So they put things together, and I became sort of the figurehead, but I also was instrumental in pointing them in the right direction on the artists and the mechanics of doing it. So we did it together, and it came out, we launched it the other day. It was record-breaking time. And who knew it would be done this year? We're really thrilled, and I can talk more about that later. Oops. Oh, here it is. This is the front cover of the Kenya Arts Diary. This is by a fellow called Derek Munene, who I had never met until I went to Patrick Kinuthia's gallery and saw some of his work. Well, these are collage that are with paper, magazine paper that he, rips up and puts in different places. There isn't a piece of, I think maybe there's a little acrylic paint on it, but I think it's very interesting, and it's reflective of Kenya. I was the one who pushed this cover because I thought, a Kipchoge, this is his year. And what this gentleman has portrayed is Kenya runners, which we are renowned for. What Nikita did propose was to, instead of having a whole bunch of images that are inside on the back, to turn the inside to turn one work of art around so it covers the front and back. So if you see the back, you see the other side of the story, because it is a visual story, and it's really beautiful, and the colors are incredible. So this is it, and I'm so thank you so much. It's and we can talk about, well, I mean, there are just a wonderful array, and there are a lot of, I mean, our contention is, no, we are not the established artists. No, you will not necessarily find, you know, the creme de la creme of the arts in Kenya, but you will find up and coming artists mixed with established artists, and maybe not established, but proficient and going towards professional, like you. I mean, you have had several exhibitions yourself, quietly. But this whole business of branding is very interesting. And Nani and I never did well on branding or copyright, which we should do, because someone already made off with our design and did something in Uganda for a couple of years. And then the fellow just left. And the artists were like gasping because he had never bothered to mentor anybody. And I think we have to do that in future. What we used to do was to put out a competition for people who would like to get the scholarships. The Kenya Arts Diary Fellowship for 1 month to work with Nani at the Kitengela Glass and Trust, or Class and Research Trust, where they would learn about making glass art and many other things. And they would be, you know, their expenses paid. We didn't do that this year because we didn't have time. And Nani was not too well. So we have kept her at the front of everything because she's the most important. And she's the reason the diary exists. It was she who had a father who was a famous artist in Germany. And he was committed to, you know, elevating young artists who other people ignored. And so she felt that that was the legacy that she could carry on to support the unknown and young and up and coming, and not necessarily young, but unknowns. And so that's how the diary began. I think she found sort of a model in a book in South Africa or somewhere, but not just exactly like this. So in 2010, I had come back to Kenya to do some research for my PhD, because I wanted to make sure that it would not be American based. And I also knew that many people would not be interested in Kenyan art, but I wanted that link. So I also, part of my dissertation had to do with globalization and the local as the global. And that enabled me to come back and research and reconnect with a lot of people who knew me well. And but when Nani asked me to please help her start it up, I said I can't, because I have to do my own research. So the first one I wasn't involved in, but the person on the cover is now a painter who she just had an auction last week. Her one artwork made over 1 million, was sold for over 1 million shillings. Beatrice Wanjiku. Wonderful. She's on the cover of the first diary, which came out in 2011. And most of the people that are in that first, and the rest of them, are now well established. And there's no doubt that their presence in the diary gave them a visibility that they wouldn't have had. And I have to say, one of the rationales. Do you mind my speaking about? Do you want me to stop?
Actually, no, please do proceed, Dr. Margaretta. What I was wishing to do is, whilst you share with us, I will also let some photographs of the launch event run, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. No, of course I wouldn't mind.
Yes, please do share with us.
Uh-huh. What I was saying, oh, look at this. This is the three of us. The gentleman standing is Tim Bromfield, who has been very quiet because he has a professional job with an international organization that he feels might not be real happy about the hours he has spent working with us. And there's Nikita in the beautiful red outfit. She has been instrumental, really wonderful. And there's Ritesh, to whom I am speaking. And you can't quite see the diary with the lighting, but that's me over there in the corner. And up above in the right-hand corner is our guest of honor. It's my right-hand corner. It's, I don't know who everybody else is. That is the High Commissioner to Barbados, Alex McDonald, with his wife and two little girls. And he spoke, and he's a lover of art. And he spoke so beautifully. We were so grateful to have him with us. And below him here is me with my dear friend, this tall gentleman, not as tall as Ritesh, but it's Lin, she, Chinese gentleman who is also a brilliant photographer, who came to Kenya in 2016 and I think it was 2016, 17, and was instrumental in helping us with the photography for the diary. These on either side, there you see us on the left-hand side. This is an artist, I can't remember her name, but the painting of bulls was very popular, and a number of people have contemplating buying it. So what we did for this night, again, I mean, Nikita invited artists to bring their own easels, which was so smart, and she got a few extras, but it meant that we had a spontaneous art exhibition to go along with the launch. So people could come, and of course we had some music. This is a place called the King, I like to call it the King's Post. It's modeled after Zanzibar, and it's got beautiful Swahili culture embedded in all the rooms, very cozy and intimate. And here are some of the artists. There is Derek in the black and white jacket, who's looking out at you, the photographer. That's Derek, who painted the cover. And this other gentleman, I'm not sure who he is, but he's obviously intent on checking the diary. Now, this is another lady called up in the top left-hand corner. Her name is Christy, and this is not what was in the diary, but her work is so popular. I wrote about her in my newspaper, Business Daily, and I think she's based in Nakuru and Naivasha, I'm not sure which, but the point is those wonderful sea paintings all sold. So she brought this with her, and I'm glad she came. Below her is my wonderful friend Geraldine Robards, and her sweet husband, Mike Fairhead. She is the artist, an oil painter who is ageless, although she is, in her 80s and painting strong as ever. the madam in front of her with the glasses is actually the artist who painted the one that I said I couldn't remember the name of. She is the artist. And next to her, who you can't see, is another journalist called Kari Muntu. And I hope she will write about us. They're listening. Maybe they're listening to me. I don't know. Looks like they're listening to Alex. Now, on the right-hand side is Ritesh's work. And this painting gives me chills, honestly. It is a wonderful piece. He just keeps getting better and better and more interesting all the time. The works that he brought to us as we were contemplating were beautiful flowers, except for one that had this horizon and had the vertical, the horizontal line in it. And that's what went in the diary. But the colors that are in the diary are not as awesome, if you'll forgive me for saying so, as these. I mean, what he has done with his water reflection is mirror the jacaranda tree, which we are always blessed with in October. It stuck around till November this year. But the colors that you have used so beautifully in this watercolor are really interesting and delicate and lovely. So I'm quite impressed. Here we have all of these wonderful people, some of whom I don't know. Yeah, these are just people who are thrilled. The lower left is Amar, who is a theater person. And I'm so grateful because we did invite him and he came. And over here, up there, Margaretta, oh, that is Shine Tani, who is in the diary, and his wife is also in the diary. Please forgive me with my nose. I have this issue right now. But yes, Shine was so happy to be there. And below us is our cake. We brought a cake to congratulate the Kenya Arts Diary for being. Now, here we have, I'm not sure who painted this one on the left-hand upper side. I need to find out. It's wonderful. I can't remember I don't know who it was. I hope we can find out. Below us is, now, who wore that beautiful red? Oh, that's Susan. The fellow with the hat is Josephat. He is a longtime artist worker for Nani Crows. And since she couldn't come, she sent him to represent her. And he did a wonderful job. But he's speaking to our friend from Rotary, our president-elect, Susan, who wore the most beautiful coat and with a matching scarf, and came, and we were so grateful. The wonderful zebra design is by, I think it's Milena, who paints often with Nikita, and that's a beautiful work also. She is also in the diary. Yes, wonderful. So thank you. Those are lovely. I think you have a few more.
Yes, there are a few more, which I will be sharing shortly. I just wanted to say what a wonderful event it was, and congratulations to you and the team for bringing this fantastic, phenomenal diary together. It's truly a diary which every art lover must have and also must gift. And at the same time, it's an honor to be featured in this edition as well. I just wanted to say a big thank you
Oh
for
my
keeping the
gosh.
diary alive and for giving us this opportunity. to feature. Thank you so
Well, and thank you so much for actually gifting it to so many people. It's a big boost for the diary because we had an issue of how we were going to produce it. And quietly, people came forth who are not really patrons of the arts, but they assumed, they trusted that they would get their money back. So they still have a little bit more of sales to be achieved, but they took this leap of faith, and Nikita found a printer who was quite a bit less expensive than our lovely people who charged quite a bit more, so much so that Nani couldn't afford. So I think we have to copyright. Yes, I think that's important. I'll look into it. Yeah.
So, Dr.
Yes.
Margaretta, now that you have shared with us the history of the Kenya Arts Diary, and you've also shared with us the fact that there were challenges and the diary had now, it was revived, so to say, because for 2 years, everyone was busy waiting. Where is the diary? We want to gift it. We want to buy it for ourselves. And it has happened. It's happened now. And the wait is over. It's now available for purchase all across many parts of Kenya. But my question to you now is, whilst we will be going through some more photographs, which can carry on whilst you share with us, what is the future of Kenya Arts Diary?
Oh gosh. Well, that will depend. One thing I wanted to say is what has made the diary so special is that Nani made the point. Nani made the point that the artist connection, the artist contacts should be there every page. And may I say, for anybody who doesn't know about the diary, what it is 52 weeks in a year, so that every week is a different artist. And so every time you flip the page, on one side you have the work of art by the artist, and on the other side of the page you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and as well mugshot of the artist and a brief bio and their connections. So you can get in touch with them directly, which has made us not very appreciated by the galleries because that cuts into their percentages. And I'm sorry about that because I love the galleries, but I also love the fact that the artists can have the freedom. Now, these are the covers, and we have been busy through the years selecting these covers. The covers have taken often hours to choose. And you can see they're all rather different. I think one of the least successful is the one in the upper right-hand corner. I fought against it, but there was a lady who was not an artist intervened and said she insisted that we have a sculpture. I didn't mind that, but the colors were not right. And you can see we love color. The other one is this one below. This is Fitsum's work. The one in the upper left is a fellow, I can't remember his name. He's a Kenyan from Western Kenya who is based in Tanzania. I love that painting, and I think a lot of people did too. The one below it is by Stephen Jenga, who we haven't seen too much of publicly, but I love that painting. The sculpture on the right-hand side is by Chelenge van Rampelberg, and I do love her, and I love that work. It didn't really go on the cover. And the bottom one is by Fitsum, an Eritrean Ethiopian artist who was, well, there he is. And that's 2018. Yes, please continue. And there is a wonderful stained glass window created by Nani Crows, which I think is, well, that's her forte. That's what she does, stained glass. So all over the country, churches especially have requested that she create stained glass windows for them. And also schools have done the same. And I think that's wonderful. But, oh, that's not the last. It's like the second of the last. Do you have the last one? The last one is green. I have
the last
it.
one is green, yes. The one, the lady on the cycle, correct.
Yes. I don't have her right in this room, but I do have her.
Yes.
If we meet again, I can show you. It's a really lovely one. And the same artist, Vincent Shikuku, presented a very similar lady on a bicycle. It was a different art piece, but again, very similar. And it's in the diary. I told Nikita we made one mistake, and she brought out the fact that they actually are different works of art. We did not repeat ourselves. So, but if you want to see what was on the cover, Vincent Shikuku. Yes. Uh-huh.
Truly wonderful. And Dr. Margaretta, it actually is evident that there's a lot of work which goes into not only the preparation of the diary and selecting the work, because I'm sure you must be getting so many entries, and it must be so critical to actually go through each entry and decide which artwork actually should feature, because this is a very prominent diary. And as much as you're saying it's for upcoming artists, this actually catapults the artist into, I'd say, artists actually get recognition across the region thanks to this diary. It's also quite a task to come up with selecting which particular artwork should go on the cover. And we have seen such beautiful covers. So thank you. Thank you for all the work.
No, this was interesting because what we decided was that each one of us would select one, and then we would. I mean, it was really an interesting team because, and that was my choice. And frankly, I was going to fight for it because I thought it is perfect because it appeals to Kenyans and it would also appeal to global people, not just regional people, international. Kenya, Nairobi, we are renowned. I mean, I was amazed when I went home one year and the fellow who does the technology for my son, my brother's business, is a runner. And he follows the Kenya marathon runners very closely. I mean, I was so impressed. So I knew that it was the right idea, a beautiful work of art. Yeah. And I had not known him before, Derek.
Well,
so it's true.
It's truly a beautiful piece of art. But then again, also to complement all the other pieces which you have chosen in the diary, this particular edition, like all the rest, is spectacular. And it's a diary which is also one which individuals can use on a daily basis, since you did mention that it's got 52 artworks for each week of the year, plus many pieces of artwork which have been showcased as well in the diary.
Let me tell you, we have like at least 70 artists and their artwork, because people say, please, please, please. So we find spaces in the front, in the back, and in between to add more. And it the artists appreciate, and we also are very grateful. So I think there's a lot of interest. And I think that because, even in Kenya, people do not know the value of visual art. They don't even recognize it, many people, nor do they recognize its value. What's exciting, I've been talking to or listening to the new Minister for the Arts and Culture, C.S. Amamo. I think he's Amamo. Is that right?
Ababu.
Ababu. Yes. And he's a wonderful young man. He's not super young, but he's an international human rights lawyer, and he's been really committed. He says we're seeing changes, and came to our exhibition for the Rotary when we had an exhibition at the Serena Hotel. He was our guest of honor. I mean, he was willing to come. And so we were really grateful. And he sounds like he's actually, he understands that the visual arts he actually said that there are too many walls, government walls that are bare, and there should be money, a fund created to buy art for the walls of these government offices. Well, if this happens, I'll be thrilled. We'll see if it happens. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm certain it's going to happen, especially after what the gentleman actually said. And we have seen that he's very passionate about art. Also during that exhibition, when he was carefully being taken around to see all the artworks which were being exhibited, there was some keen interest which was evident when he was asking questions about the art, the artist, the medium, the story behind the paintings. So,
wow.
And of course, also when you introduced C.S. Ababu Namwamba to some individuals who came from different parts of Kenya, and the backstories as to how they actually, the challenges they faced to come up as artists. And he was passionate about making sure that their voices are heard, their art is seen, and that the arts field progresses further. But before closing this particular video for today, and there'll be further videos where we'll talk about many other aspects of the arts field. We love your articles in Business Daily. We love all the writings which you post about all that's happening in the Kenyan art scene, which is not isolated just to the visual art in terms of the paintings, but other means of visual art as well. And you've been going to theater. There's been so much happening. So any parting words about where we are now in Kenya with regards to the art field, and now that COVID is over, and people are actually now outgoing, perhaps some encouraging words from you.
Yeah, well, I think it's exciting. I think this is an exciting time. I think it's challenging because people have gotten into financial problems. But there's hope, you see, because things have opened up. And for the artists, there's been a lot of complaint about, mental issues. I think the way forward is very hopeful and positive. And the big issue is people recognize their own value. I think that it's just important for people to realize that they themselves have a role to play in promoting the arts. And people are very shy, and I think it's time. So we have a new government. We are hopeful that it will do the best for the people. I think art has creativity is the basis of innovation, change, uplift, and hope. And so I think that, the artists have a critical role to play, and they have now been opened up to the opportunity. So we pray that they will take it, seize it, and go forward, including you. We want to see more of your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
The privilege. Yes.
It's been a privilege to have this conversation with you. Thank you for the encouragement. You definitely are going to see a lot more art from me. Thank you. And once again, it's been a very interesting and unique year. You have championed so many initiatives. The Kenya Arts Diary is back. The Imagine Rotary Art Exhibition, the first of its kind, took place, and you chaired it, you championed it. And the President of the Republic of Kenya, President Ruto, has honored you with a national recognition.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you have a wonderful
Thank you.
pleasure, Dr. Margaretta. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay. Well, have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Okay.